Welcome to My World is Gorgeous. I'm Erica, and today we're going to be talking about fertilizer. Why are we talking about fertilizer? Because it's still springtime. Yes, it is April, but anytime between March, April, and May, we can fertilize. Okay, now you want to make sure when you fertilize, it is after your last frost for a lot of your plants. Okay, now some of them you can do them in March if your last frost date is in March, but you really don't want to give them that fertilizer before the frost, because what's going to happen, they're going to start blooming, they're going to start leafing out, and then you'll have a frost and it could possibly kill some of the blooms. Okay, now the thing that we want to make sure that you know when you're looking at your fertilizer and you see those letters NPK, I'm going to put it up on the screen. NPK, what does that stand for? Nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, or the other way. So with that, we're going to say, what is nitrogen and what does nitrogen do? Nitrogen makes sure that we have those gorgeous leaves that are on our plants. Let me show you some. This right here, you see these leaves? They are looking beautiful. We want to make sure that we give our plants nitrogen so that way they have those gorgeous leaves. Then we're going to look at our phosphorus. Phosphorus helps with the root development of our plants. So when you're first putting plants in, you want to make sure you may give them some biotone or something like that to make sure, or some type of fertilizer when you're first putting them down inside of that soil. Okay? And then we have potassium. Now, the potassium is going to help with the bloom. So we're looking at the flowers that are on our plants, and guess what, those flowers need that potassium because we want to make sure that they have the awesome abundant color that we want them to have. Let's look at some of those. Now, as we walk over to our other flowers, we're going to start talking about what flowers or plants and what would be the best fertilizer for them. Now, we've talked about what each one does. Now, let's say what each fertilizer does to help each plant. The first one we're going to look at here is one of my hydrangeas. This particular hydrangea here, as well as we're going to walk over, I'm going to show you this here. You can see they start to have a little bit of bloom on them. Now, hydrangeas don't come into full bloom until you're in mid to end of summer. Okay, hydrangeas, you want to give them like a plant tone that has iron tone mixed with it. So you want to get your iron tone or some type of iron and plant tone, or you can even use holly tone and iron tone. And you want to make sure you do that in the spring. Now, you also can give hydrangeas another splash of fertilizer during midsummer. Most of the fertilizers that we give our hydrangeas are slow release. So the holly tone, the plant tone, the iron tone, all of these are slow release fertilizers. Okay, now the next thing we want to look at is these beautiful babies right here. And not that our hydrangeas are not beautiful, I'm just loving how big these are. Let me show you another one. Look at these hostas. Oh my goodness, look at these hostas, baby. I am really loving these hostas this year. They have leafed out tremendously. But your hostas, you want to look at a 10-10-10 in the spring. Now, hostas are not heavy feeders, so you don't have to give them a whole lot of fertilizer. But if you like, you can give them a 10-10-10 in the spring. Make sure it's a slow release, okay? Because again, they are not heavy feeders, but they do like a lot of water. If you give your hostas a good amount of water, I'm telling you, you will get big, humongous plants. That's all I can say, is they will be big. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to where our roses are, and I'm going to talk to you about that. This yellow rose is just, it's a cut flower. It is looking so gorgeous. Do you hear me? But roses, you want to fertilize again in the spring after signs of frost, and then you can do them, fertilize it again after the blooms have set. So after your first blooms, like this one here has come on it, you can fertilize it one more time, okay? And with your roses, you want to use holly tone, rose tone. You can even use plant tone, okay? But roses need nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. They need all of them. Why? Because you want to make sure the roots are good. You want to make sure that the leaf foliage is looking good, and then you want to definitely make sure that, look at these blooms, that those blooms, you're getting as many blooms as you can get, and they're looking beautiful and vibrant, as well as it helps against the disease of these flowers, okay? It helps against the disease. Now let's take ourselves into the front yard and we're going to check out some azaleas, okay? Look at these azaleas. They are looking gorgeous. Now this one usually blooms first, so it's getting closer to the end of its bloom cycle, but this here is still in bloom. These are getting ready to bloom. And then over here, this one hasn't bloomed just yet. This one probably won't bloom to more of the end of the spring going into the summer. And then you have this one here who is in bloom looking gorgeous. Now, your azaleas, your camellia japonicas, and your pencil hollies, they're all going to be wanting holly tone, azalea tone fertilizer that is for your acidic loving plants, okay? That's what you want to look for these particular ones right here, okay? I'm trying to get more in the shade so you can really see the color. I love this one, but this one here, when it's in full bloom, it is just gorgeous. It's kind of a purple pinkish mixture with a little white in it. That is, when it's in bloom, trust me, I'm going to get a great picture of it for you guys to look at, okay? And I'm going to show you some of our hostas that are in the front here. All of these I have fertilized. This here is a little lime punch hydrangea that's in a pot. This here is also more of your shrub rose. It doesn't get beyond about 1 to 2 feet, maybe 18 inches tall. Now this one here, because this one I haven't had that long, when I did not give it the other fertilizers, what I did was, this one got biotone because I was just putting it in. So it did not get a second one. Granted, when it does bloom, and you can see, if I zoom in here, look at all those blooms. Well, not blooms just yet, but it will have a lot of blooms on it. So once it actually blooms out, then I will give it either a rose tone or holly tone, plant tone. I think I got some plant tone back there. At different times I have different things. And if you see here with our hostas, this little stem here, right there, that stem right there is going to end up flowering out, okay? So if you look right there, That's going to be a little flower. That stem is going to get extremely tall and it's going to flower. And most of our hostas do flower. They usually have a purple or a white flower. Some of them you can get is very fragrant, and then some doesn't have a smell at all. Okay? Thanks for tuning in today. You guys were awesome. And if you have any questions or any suggestions, or would you like to fertilize these same plants that you have with, hey, let me know down in the comments. Make sure that you like, share, and definitely subscribe. We're at about 832 subscribers, and we want to go ahead on and jump over 1,000 subscribers, don't we? We want as many friends as possible that we can either educate them on, or hey, you may just want to come and see what flowers or plants that we have, because you like looking at them and enjoying them just as much as I do, or the rest of us. All right, so look at the rest of this, check out some of our other videos, and I will see you soon. Happy gardening. Today, we talked a lot about Esfoma products. I am not affiliated with them, but you can use any type of fertilizers that has NPK.